Greetings, I'm Nedra Darling, co-founder of Bright Path Strong. Thank you for joining us today. I had an interesting conversation with Zach Caruthers from Portugal the Man, and I'm going to share that with you in just a few minutes. But before we start, I have the pleasure of working with Jason Morset, who is a member of the Mandan Hidatsa Arikra Nation from, of course, the Great Plains in North Dakota. And he has asked to share his traditional honor song of strength and encouragement for Bright Path Strong, the children of boarding schools, the survivors of boarding schools. And he really is wishing love and peace to all of you out there during these very, very difficult times, and that we continue to be resilient. So thank you so much, Jason, for that love, and thank you for this beautiful song. I am totally thrilled today to introduce you to someone that's with me today, Zach Caruthers from Portugal the Man. And couldn't be happier than to have him here with us because I met Zach and a couple of the other band members back in February in Washington, D.C., and they were awarded an award for all their service that they do in Indian country and around the world, recognizing our homelands. I'm Nedra Darling, and like I said, I'm Prairie Band Potawatomi and half Cherokee, but they call us Cherokee descendants if you're not enrolled in the tribe. Of course, I'm a citizen of Potawatomi. And I'm also the executive producer on a movie called Bright Path, and that is the story of Jim Thorpe. It's the first film ever that will go to Hollywood that has the backing of 8 tribes. Jim's distantly related to me, so my growing up was, you admire the people before you. You mimic the people before you. You love the people before you because they've laid the groundwork and the path for you. We've moved into a nonprofit as well because we don't want to stop there. We want to continue to help lift the Native voices and our stories and help people tell the truth about us. So a little bit about us. And I also understand that Portugal the Man Foundation that was created recently has been already out the door doing a lot of things in the Native community and the world. And
we worked with Digdeep to help get water out. There's just so many things. There's obviously so many things going on, and like why we respect what you do as well as it's there's so much information out there, and in this day and age, there's so much. It's hard to know what's real, and so much of the history that we were taught was not factual, and everybody has like a thirst for knowledge, and what we're finding out that's what's a lot harder to learn is to kind of unlearn. And that's why we really like this story is and so much that we've learned through the foundation of the history of the Native Americans and Native Alaskans and just indigenous peoples all over the world is that we kind of knew the story but not really, and we weren't told the truth, and people deserve that. especially as a relative of somebody as amazing as Jim Thorpe, like to be able to know and to share that information about somebody from your family, that's just like, it's just such a beautiful thing. And yeah, same, we're right aligned with you. When Ariel brought this to us, we just loved it. It's the same thing that we do with our foundation. It's just elevating Indigenous voices and sharing Indigenous knowledge. I truly believe it's the way forward. And it's all about community resilience and sharing stories. And yeah, we've been working. We did a video with Weird Al Yankovic and a song we released on Indigenous Peoples Day, highlighting Acacia Red Elk, and a bunch of other friends that we've made. It was honestly just a video with all of our friends, and but it was really cool. It was really inclusive. And yeah, we got to donate a bunch of money to the Digdeep Navajo Water Project. We're going to work on some things out at Warm Springs as well. Yeah, with everything going on, sometimes people forget that, especially during COVID, when hygiene is such a big part of it, and knowing that such a huge percentage of certain reservations or communities that have been like hit way harder with COVID than anybody, like don't have like running water. And it just boggles my mind in this day and age that we have such a hard time getting people water, when that is the basic fundamental thing. If you need one thing, man, or two things, air and water. And so obviously we figured that was a pretty good place to start. And in changing those things, obviously getting out the native vote is a big initiative that we've been undertaking, and we need some change. And I think that, and we need the help, and we need to work together, and we need that partnership. It's not our foundation isn't a charity; it's a partnership. We get just as much as we give, if not more. And it's been really amazing to just, we're kind of connectors. We'll talk to people and we'll hear some stories or hear about issues, and we're like, oh, like with you, it's like, oh, well, we met this that's already doing this kind of organization in this community. We help there, or just take that model and move it somewhere else, and just spreading knowledge, and just things that work somewhere, maybe it'll work somewhere else. It's pretty simple. But it's in that we've just made some really unbelievable friends and heard some really unbelievable things. And it's changed my life for sure.
That's great. With working with the vote initiative that you did, I did see the video. It was really great. And very interesting. And for those of you that haven't seen it, you took the 36% of people that do not vote, and then took my favorite song, Feel It, put it on top of that track, the video and music, and just showed it in 36%. And I thought to myself, how small that would look for Indian country, because we have about probably that same percentage not voting, but our population is so much smaller. And I thought, what an impact that makes. And I think that was a really important thing you did. So very much appreciated. And I hope people, that message is pretty clear. And voting, as I've said before, this time is, we got to vote like our life depends on it, because in Indian country, our life depends on it. It truly does.
It does.
And I guess a message from you, and maybe, what your thoughts on, we're really looking to, help push out the young people to vote. And so do you have, maybe a message for them, or,
I just really hope they show up, because I got a lot riding on them. I have seen what the youth have been doing as of the last couple of years, and I am so proud of them and the way that this is going to go. Times are rough right now, but we do got to understand change is slow, especially in politics. But I see the youth organizing. I see them out in the streets. I see them being passionate and having just a ton of fire in them. And it's beautiful. And it makes me proud to be a human. And I haven't necessarily felt that way for a while. And so I'm really expecting them to kind of turn out and do something about this. And I truly hope they will, but I just want the youth to recognize their power. And I think a lot of people don't hear that enough, that how their voice matters with voting and without. Just, I know a lot of people grow up and you feel like people don't understand and nobody listens to you. And man, being a teenager is hard. And especially like getting like 18 and becoming a young adult and having those pressures, that have leaned over from the insecurities of growing up as the adolescence and that angst, and then trying to prepare to go out in the world and take care of yourself. That's enough pressure in itself, plus having the other people in the world depend on you as well. But I just want to say you can do it. It's not, people have been doing it. People did it before you. And like you were saying, it's the generations before us that got us here, and we have to, protect the people going forward. And our youth and our elders are so important, and everybody in the middle. I think it's our responsibility to look after those two and instill, learn from our elders and pass that responsibility on to the youth, and yeah, just be proud of your voice. And in looking for truth, it's really hard to find, but I do believe that everybody has it in there. I don't believe a lot of stuff I see on the internet. I don't believe a lot of stuff I read in books, but I got a feeling in my gut, and I've learned to trust that. And everybody has that little guy, and listen to him or her or whoever, whatever is inside you, listen to it, because I think you got more answers than you know.
I think that I hope that people are connecting the young people with our older people, if not as old as, our elders in some instances, your own mother, your own father, your family around you, and talk about, how we're still here today. I mean, what resilience, capture the resilience of your own family, start asking those questions. You are like in conclaves with your family, in many instances, and take out the pen and paper or your computer or whatever you have, and don't let this opportunity go by without learning more about, ask those questions, ask those hard questions, just ask it, because the resilience is the underlying thing that gets us through everything we go through in life.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that, asking questions. It's, I've been working on that a lot, and like kind of dealing with, it gets uncomfortable, but I fully believe that someone who asks a question is a fool for a minute. If you don't ask a question, you're a fool the rest of your life, and I fully believe that. And that connects us. We can't be, it's okay to be insecure, and it's okay to not know and to ask uncomfortable questions. And by not asking that, it just makes the walls bigger, and it makes the separation between people greater. And that's not what we need right now, especially when we have to physically be distant. We need to figure out ways to connect emotionally and even through technology and such. And spiritually, I guess it's like, but human beings have a need for connection, and especially in these times when we can't get it in the ways that we used to, we got to force ourselves to find other ways, I think.
Absolutely. Even you and your band and what you're doing, you have resilience. Your resilience is strong, and to continue to do and leading that new path where, yes, you're entertainers, but you're also citizens of concerns about the world that we're in right now.
Absolutely.
And you're reaching back and touching that, and you're helping, and that is so important. There's just so much right now in the climate that we're in, and the environment we're in, and the times that we're in, and we don't want to lose the time to capture this situation. We had many ancestors that were lost in the Spanish flu.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that enough, but we did have a lot of people, native, non-native, whatever, and It's kind of brushed through. But those people that made it through that, they made it.
Yeah.
It made us, and
Yeah.
we're gonna get through it strong together.
Absolutely.
But they say I've got to wrap it up. This is not fair. Could talk to you all day, and look forward to doing that again. and just again, look forward to working with you and other aspects of what we're doing. We've got a lot on our plate to get done as both of us. There's a lot of work to be done. And to all the viewers, thank you for being with us today. Before we end anything, is there anything else you'd like to share, Zach? Or
I just want to say I'm super excited to team up and work with your organization, and I can't wait to see the movie and just the story. I had kind of heard things, but like a lot of people, I know there's just so much I didn't know, and it's just fascinating on so many levels. And just thank you for sharing that story. And I'm so excited to really get in deep and learn the full thing and learn some truth about the history. I think it's very important what you're doing. So thank you very much.
We have another singer for you today, and that is Martha Redbone. She's an award-winning vocalist, songwriter, a descendant of Cherokee Nation and of African American descent as well. Martha has been around Indian country for a long time, many performances on reservations and stages in New York and everywhere. And what she's doing for us today, again, comes back to Bright Path and Jim Thorpe and his time at Carlisle, and to all the survivors and boarding school children, those that didn't make it home and those that did make it home. So this is a song called Drums.
From the Indian reservation to the governmental school, well, they're going to educate me to the white man's golden rule, and I'm learning very quickly, for I learned to be ashamed. And he comes where they call him Billy, though he's got an Indian name. There are drums beyond the mountain, Indian drums that you can't hear. There are drums beyond the mountain, and they're getting mighty near. And when they think that they changed me, they cut our hair to meet their needs. Will they think me a black or Indian, a quarter blood, or just some half-breed? Let me tell you, Mr. Teacher, when you say you make me right in 500 years of fighting, not one Indian ever turned white. And there are drums beyond the mountain, Indian drums that you can't hear. There are drums beyond the mountain, and they're getting shadows of their telling walks out thunder, proud and bold, and there are drums beyond the mountain, Indian drums that you can't hear. There are drums beyond the mountain, and they're getting mighty near. Well, there's Lone Pine and Sequoia and some Lake and Sitting Bull. Then there's Mangus, Colorado's, with his sleeves so red and full. Crazy Horse, the legend, and those who bit off Custer's soul, they are dead yet they are living with the great Geronimo, and there are drums beyond the mountain, Indian drums that you can't hear. There are drums beyond the mountain, and they're getting mighty near. You may teach me this land's history, but we taught it to you first. We broke your hearts and bent your journeys. Broken treaties left us cursed. Even now you try to cheat us, even though you think we're tamed. In our losing, we found proudness, and in your winning, you found shame. And there are drums beyond the mountain, Indian drums that you can't hear. There are drums beyond the mountain, and they're getting mighty near, and they're getting mighty near, and they're getting mighty near.